And I listened to that feeling. I opened the door, went back in, and I said, random question. Do you know any bands that need a drummer?
Drummers you admire?
Oh, good. I do admire Ringo. Brilliant.
So he is a good drummer, because you always hear that he's not actually that good.
I think he's brilliant. Sometimes people will say, I've got no rhythm, or I can't do it.
I need to warn you, I have no rhythm. Well, very little rhythm.
See if you can do doubles, so it'll be 2 on each hand.
Right, left,
right,
left.
left.
Actually, I'm doing left,
That's when you're starting with the opposite hand.
Yeah, but
you said right.
yeah.
You said right and hit
I've
left.
got it.
Good.
It's variety.
Welcome to the Variety Show podcast with me, Adam Sternberg. Now, today's guest is a drummer and an entrepreneur who famously was on Dragon's Den, but turned down the Dragon's offer. So welcome to the podcast, Richard Enion.
Thanks, Adam. Pleasure to be here.
Nice to see you. So tell me about growing up. Where did you grow up?
Okay, straight to the
point.
to childhood. I grew up in a little village, more cows than people. It was beautiful, very green, near Burton on Trent.
Oh no, so it's a Midlands sort of area.
Yeah, in the middle. Again, like more cows than people, so a lot of play outside. Very fortunate with the drums. When I got my first kit, my parents realised that it wasn't good in the house, so they
So you're lucky you're in the countryside.
Yeah, they donated the garage.
So were your parents into music performers themselves?
They were. They from a very young age they played the piano accordion, and the reason they played the piano accordion is because my mum's mum was Estonian.
Ah, that I didn't know.
Yeah, she came over when she was maybe 17 or so, and yeah, in Estonia the piano accordion's more popular than in England. So yeah, and mum and dad used to. Because they were together from a very early age, they would be in like performances and competitions on the piano accordion, like based in the Midlands.
So then you had performance in your family, then performing arts.
The other thing is that mum would always say this. They had a newsagent, and so like magazines, chocolate, alcohol, lottery,
Cigarettes,
yeah. And I can remember mum like implying or maybe even explicitly saying that the counter was like the stage, and ours was raised up by about half a foot. Yeah.
Well, in the
newsagent.
So as though you were on stage when people came into the shop, the audience, sort of. That's interesting,
isn't it? And I'd forgotten about that until you just asked me. Yeah. She would say that it's like the stage.
When did you get your first set of drums? Do you remember?
I do. Yeah, I was. It fills the excitement now. I was about 12 or so, and I can literally remember going in. It was a Premier Olympic drum kit, like one of the basic Premiers, but nice.
What type of drums would those have been? Was that like a kit?
Yeah, drum kit. Yeah, so you got snare drum, tom, floor tom, bass drum, and I remember as looking at the drum kit. And Dad put his hand on the skin to check the bass drum skin, and I cheekily pressed it so it hit his hand. Yeah, I remember it. Yeah, it was good little kit.
And had you asked for one, or was it?
It'd been in discussions, and because like how I got into drumming was in primary school. I was in assembly, and I remember. I can remember. My memory is really vivid. I remember sitting on the front row, and there was a guy had brought his drum kit in to do a performance, just to do a drum solo. I'm just overwhelmed and moved by the sound and the feeling of it, and from that moment, it was drums.
So how old would you have been roughly then?
I mean, primary school, so less than 10, maybe 8.
So you got your drum kit. Were you having lessons?
I was having lessons in Derby at Rattle and Drum. There's a drum shop there.
How did sorry, because I'm sort of boring piano. How do drum lessons work? How does that happen?
So
I mean, obviously you don't have scales to do. So
no, I mean you've got like there's different kind of ways in, or different themes to different lessons. You've got rudiments, so like that's like patterns on the hands. So singles, doubles, and then paradiddles, which I'll show you a little bit later. And there's just an endless number of combinations and movements with the four limbs. So yeah, that was part of it, and that was kind of the boring bit, but not like if it's communicated right, the importance of it and how that can help expression later, like scales, I guess. And then you've got the beats, so there'll be a beat, and in that sense, on the kit to communicate it, it depends on the student, how they're receiving the information and what. Whether they're like they can read, or they can hear the sound that I make in my mouth, and then can they reflect that on the kit?
You were having these lessons until you were sort of what age, do you reckon?
Around 4 years I had lessons, and yeah, it was just in the back room of this drum shop. Yeah, for 4 years, almost every week.
And at that point, did you have in your head that this is what you wanted to do, or was this still like a hobby or...
Hobby, yeah, hobby. I guess that there was always maybe I could, like that kind of, maybe I could be a famous drummer in a band.
So were you at that point? You'd have been in your teens, I presume.
Yep, going into teens. So there was a little gap between primary school and actually starting properly. So I saw the drummer, and in assembly, he really inspired me. And then I had some lessons in a small room at primary school that were just rudiments. And I was just on my own, having been given a rudiment to practice, and then the teacher would come back 10 minutes later. So I left it then, and then when I went to secondary school, I'm not quite sure why, but I was in Derby, and me and my mum, we walked past the drum shop, and I glanced in, and I can remember it vividly like yesterday. I glanced in, and she said to me, "Do you want to go and have a look?" And I just said, "Yes, I do." And it was from, I didn't have a lesson that day, but like within 7 days, I had a lesson every week then for a long time.
For 4 years. So had you ever in your head had a different sort of way you'd earn your living? Were you ever thinking that you were going to do something else or run the shop or?
But yeah, even when I was I went to university, even in uni, I did a business information systems degree. I was considering taking over the shop. It was actually a thought.
And when you went to university, I presume you continued to play drums at university?
Yeah. Not as much as I would have liked to have done, but I did play to keep my skills going. Yeah.
So at what point did you decide, okay, this is something I want to give a go, sort of, as a career?
There's one particular moment that comes to mind. So,
tell me.
Like I was playing in different bands, for all that period, sort of from secondary school, from as soon as I could. From sort of maybe 13 or 14 years old, organising a gig at the school with my friends. But I ended up in the Caribbean playing drums in a band out there.
How did that happen?
Finished university, wanted to go to the Galapagos Islands just for a trip.
As one does.
Right. Thought I'll fly 2/3 of the way and figure the rest out.
Yeah.
Found myself on a boat. Working with a gentleman called Tim. I can't remember his last name, but working with Tim, and he took us to St. Martin, one of the islands there, from St. Lucia, because I flew to St. Lucia. In St. Martin, I went into a surf shop. In the surf shop, I was just walking around looking at bits and bobs, like the T-shirts and things, and as I left, I closed the door. It was like a slidey door. It was like a converted house or something. And as I closed it, I remember an overwhelming feeling of, I wonder if he knows of any bands that need a drummer. And I listened to that feeling. I opened the door, went back in, and I said, random question, do you know any bands that need a drummer? And he said, Jeff, his name was, and he said, yeah, they're in the kitchen. I was like, what? He said, yeah, they're just behind that wall, just go through. And there was, I think it was Mark and Guy, or two of the guys in the band were looking for a drummer for the season. And we chatted, and I joined the band. Yeah, I learnt it was originals. I learnt their songs. And
who are you playing to?
In St. Martin, obviously, there's a lot of tourists. It's a Caribbean island, and we played to tourists. We got like a weekly gig on a Thursday night in, I can't remember the name of the bar, but yeah, in a bar there. And I guess there I was just kind of. This is the point. While I was out there, a friend from secondary school who was the guitarist and singer in a band that I was with then, and I still play with, like we gigged on Saturday actually. He had an events business and still does, and he had an inquiry from a bank for a drumming event, and I don't know if we were chatting or he emailed me. He said, "Rich, move back to England, buy these drums and run this event." And I was coming to the end of my time in the Caribbean at that point, and I heard the message and I took a loan and bought the drums with Mark and Mikey, two of the guys that I started with.
So how old would you been then?
Early 20s.
Early 20s.
Yeah.
And these then were drums that you used in team building.
Yeah, they were African djembes.
You've moved from being a traditional drummer in a band to suddenly using drums as a way of team building. Is that right?
Yeah, still playing drum kit, still playing in bands. But yeah, there was kind of an overlap and a transition period. Yeah. And like to this day, it's both. It's percussion, it's workshops and drum kit. And they both feed each other. Like as I learn things on the drum kit, that feeds into my sessions and then back.
So tell me about how then drum team building works. Describe a session.
Imagine 40 people in an open circle or kind of horseshoe shape. I'll be at one end. Ideally, the client that's brought us in keeps it as a surprise, because that stops too many thoughts in their mind, too many fears coming up. I get so excited about it. It's like, you remember Christmas Day as a kid?
Yes.
Did you have good Christmases?
Yes.
You know that excitement?
Yes.
That's the feeling I get just talking about it. I had an event yesterday, and even like loading the van, I'm so excited to get there and be there with these people and share, and because I know that during that session they're going to be laughing. There's going to be probably in 20 to 30 people, one person will break down into hysterical laughter, which is kind of like a form of stress relief. They're experiencing something that's so fun and uplifting. So yeah, like they're in the circle. Ideally, they don't know to stop those fears. And I'll say something like, whatever you're thinking, if you're excited or if you're scared about what's going to happen, it's okay. Like you can like lean forward, or you can blend in a little bit more, whatever's comfortable for you. So you're in a safe place, and we're going to create a performance together. And then together, or together, we build up the rhythms and allow them to sink in. And there's either one or two main grooves. There's a break, introductions, and then again, depending how long and how far they get within the period of time, do little tricks and personal things for the company, like maybe using the company name within a chant within the drumming. And it goes from zero to their own performance.
And does it always work? Do you ever have members of the public or members of the company who are like difficult to deal with, or who won't do what they're meant to do, or deliberately try and sabotage? Or
it always works, but there's different degrees of energy that I have to put in order to get them to the finish, to the performance. So here's an example. We were in Manchester last week, and it was 50 people. There were a management team, and there were two people that wouldn't start in the circle. So everyone's in the circle, or the horseshoe. They stood outside, but they were quite happy. Like I looked over, I could see them. They were like content. And at one point in between, like a little changeover, I just kind of went towards them and I said, "You guys okay? Do you want to step forward? And they're like, "No, we're okay, but we're having a good time." And they just didn't feel like they wanted to be in the circle. But by sort of 15 minutes in, they'd actually got their own drum and they were playing along at the back, like while everyone was part of their own thing. The hardest thing is people that have been drinking alcohol. So if there's a say the event's later on, say 6 p.m. and there's been a little reception, even after one drink, the attention span's gone. 2 drinks, it's hard. 3 drinks, I have to completely transform. I have to like really let go and yeah, it's always fun. It's still fun, even if they're. I mean, I'm talking from a personal perspective now. Like even if they've been drinking alcohol, but it's a lot harder to get a performance.
And what do you think it does for people?
It relaxes people. It gives people energy. It calms the mind. The mind can't be thinking about anything other than being in the moment. So it kind of, it's almost like clears the mind, like it's been used traditionally for decision making. Or
What do you mean traditionally?
like hundreds, thousands of years ago. So tribes, groups, communities would play drums to clear the mind before a big decision. Maybe they were going to move area, or to celebrate, or to uplift the energy of the.
So that's an interesting point, I suppose, that drumming, and correct me if I'm wrong, has existed across all cultures from the beginning of time pretty much.
Sometimes people will say, I've got no rhythm, or I can't do it, and I'll throw this in if I'm feeling like, and this is early on, maybe like in the first 5 minutes or so, if there's a couple of people that are hesitant, I'll say, look, you can do this. Have you walked down the street before? Yes, that's what most people have. Have you walked next to somebody else? Yes, okay. And often we sync up. When speaking now, there's a rhythm. There's like almost like a dance between the words. There are pauses, and so yeah, it's accessible for everybody. We all have rhythm. Yeah.
And so I presume drums are the earliest musical instruments, probably.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I don't know the official answer, but that would make sense. Like, yeah, hitting things, like hollowing out a log and putting an animal skin over it, or like I guess later on, some sort of brass or metal.
But also, I suppose, with our own heartbeat, it's almost internal drumming somehow, without getting too deep and meaningful about it.
Yeah, there's the rhythm of life.
Rhythm of life.
Yeah, it's continuously happening, like a breath. Like we don't have to breathe. The body breathes in its own rhythm. Yeah, we can consciously breathe, but yeah, there's a rhythm of expansion and contraction always happening.
So you've got that sort of drumming on the one hand, but on the other hand, ethnic drumming. So how you do a lot of, say, I don't know, Latin style drumming.
Yeah.
Which is deeply spiritual, isn't it?
It's trance-inducing. And if you just sit and focus on one thing, any one thing, but particularly a beat that has a resonance and a vibration through the body, just sit and have that repetitive pattern. Quietens the mind. If the mind's focusing on that, and that is part of it as well, is like if the mind's wandering, you have to bring your attention back to the beat in order for it to work. But yeah, like shamanic drumming and sitting in circles, like that, a group of people in a circle together with a fire and a drum and a beat, just being together, seeing the colours, allowing the colours of the fire whilst that sound is resonating, and often singing as well. Yeah, it's medicine. It's like it's literally medicine, and it's all those levels of that. It's the fire, it's the sound, it's being together. It's concentrating on one thing, one common beat together.
And you don't yourself see, and I'm not saying there is, a contradiction between the corporate and the spiritual?
No. For me, zero. My energy towards like corporate, because that's the word that's thrown around, isn't it? Corporate team building is, I'm with humans, and like I said earlier, is like I know that when I leave that room, they're going to be they're going to be higher energy. They're going to have laughed really hard. They're going to have been with people that they will have probably never seen, possibly have never seen smile, and I've had that told to me. Yeah.
Okay, but what about then taking that way of doing things, that feeling that you get from drumming, and using it for other groups of people, say people with mental health illnesses, people who are in deprived backgrounds, people who could also could also, for whom that would be of value, I suppose.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and I've worked with a few schools for free, just do a little session and help. Yeah, share it that way too. It's I do bits of that. I could do more, but yeah, I think that's yes. It's
Yes.
yes, it's good.
What I think I mentioned to you before is that I feel, in the same way as you inspired as a child by that drummer, there are less opportunities these days within schools, particularly within the state sector, or certainly lessons, let alone anything else. We clearly do feel that art's an important thing for young people.
Critical for human spirit, for young people, for creativity, for expression. Yeah, it's a bigger conversation about how we live as the human race, of society, of bills, of the use of money for exchange. But I think it's critical for kids to be inspired. Yeah.
Tell me about Dragon's Den. How did that happen?
I moved to Nottingham, and my roommate, there's a few of us in the house, in a shared house, early 20s. He was at, I can't think if it was Nottingham or Nottingham Trent, and he said I should go and speak to one of the business guys there, to chat with them and just have a chat about business. And I was in the waiting room, and on the wall was a poster that said, "Dragon's Den, think you've got it, apply at this website or this URL." And I looked at it and made a note of it, went home and applied that night straight away. It was quite a process from there. I thought, I'll apply and then it would be sort of yes or no. But it was business plan, financial plan, which I hadn't done. I was we'd just started, and at that point we'd worked with some big names, but hadn't really made a plan.
And was this for the team building, for the drumming team building?
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So I wrote the business plan, I wrote the financial plan, sent all that off. They liked it. They could see this is the BBC now. We went over to Manchester to do a mock pitch. They liked it. And this was a key thing that happened after that is, after then giving us a yes and a date to go on, they said that they were really sorry, but they couldn't actually fit us in because of the schedule and how many of us that were going to go down. And I remember putting the phone down to that conversation with a real heavy feeling. I was like, it doesn't feel right. And that's what I've come to learn about myself, is I have a pretty good feeling about things. And when I go with that, it tends to go well. And we should do the show. And I've been told no. So I called straight back. And I said, okay. And it was the answer phone I got through to. I said, I understand that we're a big group and all of these potential problems, but these are the ways we can make it work. Went home, wrote an email, just bullet points, sent that off. And eventually, a week later, after no communication, they phoned us back and said, we found you a slot. So for me, that was the most nerve-wracking thing, was those first few words.
You must have been really nervous. Were you really nervous?
I was really nervous.
Yes, I was surprised.
Quite a few years before that, a friend and I would go on to the London Underground just because we wanted to push ourselves and start doing presentations.
How?
Yeah, so we'd walk in and it might be like, get everybody involved in a game. One was one was called the cheese game, where we'd go on and say, okay.
Onto a tube train?
On the tube. Yeah.
Yeah, this sounds like this would really have annoyed me. But carry on.
Yeah, the people were annoyed.
I will be behind my paper, not looking. Yes, carry on. What is the cheese game? What happens?
The goal was to feel fear.
Yes.
And to overcome that and to share a positive experience with people.
Okay.
So I'm going to become a piece of cheese.
Yes.
And you can all guess what cheese I am.
Okay, let's do that now.
Okay. We're all going to become a piece of cheese.
Am I becoming a piece of cheese?
So hands in. This one's so simple.
Yes.
Okay, hands in.
Yes.
Imagine I've encouraged about 2 or 3 more people like this.
Yes.
And then, what cheese are we?
Yes.
Any ideas?
Brie.
No, good guess though. Good guess.
Camembert. Cheddar.
There's 2 or 3 other people. We were Dairy Lee. because you imagine the circle.
Oh, second.
Which is
okay. Sorry. Yes.
Is
yes.
it-
Sorry. I got. Yeah, but hold on. That could be a slice of a brie.
it could be
it could be a
a
slice.
slice of it.
Hold on. So you're on.
Point being,
this is-
we created games to scare ourselves to then overcome the fear.
no one hit you.
No one hit us. No, I haven't tried it in 15 years, so maybe now.
This is fascinating.
Yeah, but so I'm going into Dragon's Den. Yeah,
So
having
you're,
practiced.
okay. So this is
Yeah.
good. I get this. So you haven't done your cheese game on the tube. This is easy now. Relatively.
Easier, yeah. Still nervous. Once I'd got the pitch out, it was easy because we weren't trying to sort of say, okay, we've got this great business and there's this and these are the numbers. It was just, we've worked with, I'm going to name the names, but we've worked with, on the pitch we said, we've worked with these companies and we'd worked with 5 or 6 really good companies and had some great events. And these are the numbers so far, and this is what we project for just to the best of our skills. So after the initial pitch, more than anything, it was just a conversation. Yeah. And then they obviously played their roles a little bit. Duncan did Duncan. And yeah, it was 2 hours filming for the
Wow.
Yeah. It was a great experience. And the things that have come off the back of that have been like, you can't even imagine, like great PR and fascinating doors opened.
And they offered you money.
Yep, they offered us £50,000 for 40%, which we shook on, and then after a little bit of time, we didn't sign the contract. We decided it wasn't the best way to go forward. Yeah, we signed a non-disclosure. They didn't do anything wrong at all. They were great. They were very generous even before we'd signed the contract. And then, we just decided to go
your own way.
Yeah.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But all in all, a good experience.
Yeah. Really, really good.
Right. Well, now the key moment has arrived where you teach me something. Now, I need to warn you. I know. I need to warn you. And this is, I'm sure, this is what everyone says. And you say, I have no rhythm. Well, very little rhythm. Now, my mother was a choreographer, right? And when we were young, we used to do little shows.
Okay.
And she always used to try and get me to dance, which used to frustrate her a bit because I couldn't even walk in time.
Really?
Really. Yeah. So I'm just warning you before we start. Okay.
Okay.
So what are you going to show me?
Okay.
Sticks.
These are drumsticks.
Drumsticks.
Drum kit sticks.
2.
Yep. 2.
Yeah.
1 in each hand.
1 in each hand. I can do that.
You got. Let's see. So, on your knee, obviously, don't hit your leg too hard. Let's see if you can do singles. So it's just right, left, right, left, right. Yeah. Perfect. Good.
Brilliant. I could be a drummer.
All right.
After all.
Well done. Round of applause, everybody. By the way, this isn't a team building event. This is just a little something.
Well, I'm not a team. This is an individual building event. Yes.
See if you can do doubles. So it'll be 2 on each hand. Right, left, left.
Right, left.
That's funny. You're starting with the opposite hand.
Actually, I'm doing left, right.
And you said
I know,
right.
Oh, that's my other problem. I don't know my left.
That's
right.
You definitely don't. You said right and hit left.
Brilliant. Left, right.
Yeah,
we'll move on.
Let's see if I'll test you. Okay.
Okay.
You got that perfect. If we mix those, so it'll be what's called a paradiddle. Have you heard that? A paradiddle?
Paradiddle.
Right, left, right, left, left. Right. Go on. Right, left, right, left. Perfect. Okay, after 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left,
Oh, sorry.
right.
But you see, it's tricky because
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
watching you.
I'll mirror you. Okay.
We're doing right.
1, 2, 3, 4. Right, left, left. Perfect. Good.
I've got it.
You got it. Yeah, it's good. So they're rudiments. They're like the 3 of the most basic rudiments that as a kid, and even now, sit for hours and just go, literally, like that. And then I'd push it a little faster
Go on
until,
then, go on,
until
go
it
on,
falls
go on,
apart.
Go on.
And so at that point, like, my hands are freezing cold. It's starting. I can feel it starting to like not quite go right. But yeah, and then that translates onto the kit. That is kind of like the scales on an instrument.
Unlimited. So by the rudiments, they are literally the rudiments, the fundamentals, the basics of drumming, and even Ringo Starr would have done that.
He will have done, yeah.
While we're on Ringo Starr,
Yes.
drummers you admire.
Oh, good. I do admire Ringo. Brilliant. Like
So he is a good drummer, because you always hear that he's not actually that good.
I think he's brilliant. Yeah, as a musician, as a performer, as a drummer for the songs. Yeah, like incredible. Yeah. I mean, have you heard of Buddy Rich?
Yeah, Buddy Rich.
Yep. In more recent times, I really like Travis Barker of Blink-182. So whether you like or hate the music, Travis as a drummer is outstanding, outrageous, and outstanding.
What makes a good drummer?
Yeah, for me, it's the creativity in his writing for the songs. Like the drum parts that he writes are like masterpieces in themselves. And then like seeing him play live, like the clarity and the precision of his performance in a song in an arena. And I'm like watching him. I'm currently in Manchester right now in my brain, watching him from the side of the stage. It's just incredible, the clarity and the precision that he'll have on a gig. Sorry, I have to say, Chad Smith as well, the Chili Peppers, amazing. Very simple drumming on the songs, but then live, it's a whole nother beast. Yeah.
Because I must admit, for people like me who are not drummers, I sort of see the drummer as the sort of the least part of the band, sorry to upset you. But it's sort of it's Paul McCartney, it's John Lennon, it's George, and then somewhere in the back is Ringo.
Yeah,
I don't even quite remember. I don't even quite remember who's the Queen's drummer. I can't even remember his name.
Roger.
Yeah, see, I know he's very famous, but still, it's all Freddie and Brian May, isn't it? It's like,
no.
I tell you who I didn't realise originally was a drummer was Karen Carpenter.
Have you seen the little clip that's going around?
Yeah,
So absolutely incredible. I didn't know either. And to sing whilst playing.
While playing. Yeah,
I can hardly speak while playing.
Yeah, that was amazing. I thought that was amazing.
Yeah, incredible. And I don't know how old she is in that clip.
Seems very young.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of percussion these days, I suppose, is created by AI or electronic type of stuff. What's your feelings on that?
It's a useful tool, but they'll never replicate the human soul in a piece of music, and like live gigs and live performances. It's energy. It's human. It's soul. It's innate life force coming out through an instrument and through speakers to other beautiful humans at the gig. So I'm not concerned about that. I think humans will always be playing and performing and will always want to and love it. The concerns and the darker conversation about what it could do to the human race, I tend not to dwell too much in those kind of thoughts. But musically, humans will prevail.
Good. Well, that's yes. Well, better hope you're right. Otherwise, we're all literally done for.
What do you think?
I just worry that AI, the large language models, are in the hands of a very small group of people. So you're not quite in control of what's going on, and it's like basically the Americans and the Chinese, and there's not a lot of control over that. And if you end up with people who don't have the best wills for humanity in their motivations, who knows where it leads to. But on the other hand, I suppose historically we always are scared of technological developments. We're scared of the Industrial Revolution, introduction of the steam engine, internet, whatever it might be. Humanity is scared, but we just need to find methods to control it and to have legislation to make things sure that people don't abuse, I suppose, is the answer.
I was never scared of the electronic drum kit when that came out.
No, but you're still playing it though, aren't you?
Yeah, it's true. That's true. Yes, it's not. Yeah.
If you had some sort of avatar playing the electronic drum kit, it might not.
One of my friends actually phoned me up a few weeks ago, pretty much said, keep doing it, keep going. Like, the human race needs you, and it needs live events, and we all kind of know that. And live entertainment in every sense, it's going to thrive.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. And I think it will thrive even more so because so much else in life is not that. It's done on screens. It's done remotely. It's done not in conjunction with other people. So I think that anything that brings people together is clearly a good thing, and we need more of. And in fact, not we all need more of. So I think we're in a good place for live entertainment.
Yeah.
One final question, and a key one. I'm coming back to sort of education. If you were talking to a young performer who wanted to be a drummer or a musician or in the arts in general, what would you say to them to encourage them?
As a kid, when I first started, I got a pair of old secondhand sticks and shoeboxes. So it would be like just do it in any form that you can, whether it's like knife and forks, obviously speaking about drummers, knife and forks on a pan, or find a shoebox, find any kind of box that makes a sound that you can start with. Like technology with YouTube, we can go right now and go, okay, give me the first 3 things I need to learn as a non-drummer. Like, start in some way. If they want to play another instrument, obviously it's possibly slightly different, but I guess I'm just thinking out loud again, like if someone wanted to play the piano, they couldn't afford a piano, voice, singing notes, something to start with the music. And again, this is assuming they want to, is like just tapping into that, like that source of energy. And again, I could get real deep about this stuff, but like tap into the heart, into the soul, into the energy of what they're wanting to do, and then just follow that. And with that, they'll find a way in some form.
But I presume with all that, you still have to put the work in, don't you?
Yeah, practice is critical. Yeah,
yeah, that's
yeah.
Practice.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah, sometimes it's boring. Sometimes you sat there and you're doing this for an hour, but that leads to other really incredible things, like the rudiments, the foundation, the basic.
You have to have it, and you can't not have that.
No. And some people I think come into planet Earth with more skills in that area, and it's easy. They get an earlier starting point for whatever reason, parents or whatever it might be. I didn't have particularly great rhythm when I first started. Maybe that's why I had to have 4 years of lessons. But yeah, working at it and getting and persevering through the boring bits is important.
Well, Richard, thank you very much. This has been delightful. I enjoyed so much having you on as a guest.
Thank you. Thanks for inviting me. It's lovely to see you, because we've known each other a long time.
A long time.
Yeah.
So thank you. That was the latest episode of the Variety Show podcast. To see more about future episodes or to see what we're doing in general, do visit us on our social media channels on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. Thank you.